Hello, I would like to introduce you to the Polywood Capstone group for the Capstone Project course of Purdue Fort Wayne's Organizational Leadership Master's Program. I'll introduce each person with a very brief background on their professional endeavors. My name is Mitch Baumgartner. I'm the current graduate assistant coach for the women's volleyball team here at PFW. I've had previous experience collegiate coaching at the University of San Francisco, and prior to that, I was involved in education as a physical education teacher and as a middle school athletic director. Kristen Bowen currently runs a small business, and she previously worked as a communications manager at a nonprofit in Fort Wayne and an employee communications and events manager at a hospital in San Diego. Bobby Perez is former graduate assistant coach for our men's basketball program, and he specialized as a video coordinator. He is currently continuing his passion in coaching at a high school in Atlanta. Jim Platzer is a corporate motivational speaker with previous experience in a Fortune 500 company as a president and general manager of one of the distribution facilities. And lastly, Haley Rivera is the graduate assistant in the Mastodon Academic Performance Center, where she mentors at-risk student athletes. She previously was a site manager at a motel. For our Capstone project, we partnered with Polywood LLC and our corporate contact Ryan Zimmerman, where we were tasked with researching and providing supplemental resources for a mid-level manager training program due to the fast growth of the organization and their need to transition employees into leadership roles. Throughout this presentation, our Capstone members will discuss in great detail the process and methods we use to supply Polywood with a finished product that we believe will lay the foundational leadership principles for this program. Founded in 1990 in Syracuse, Indiana, Polywood is an organization that is led by a group of individuals who have a desire to build and deliver innovative outdoor furniture that brands its durability and performance while withstanding nature's intensity. These products are inspired through a hope of enhancing the lives of their consumers and all the while impacting the generations of the future. Polywood creates these advanced, long-lasting products and provides their superior services with success through excellent remarks and customer satisfaction, maintaining brand excellence, and quality recruiting. Polywood looks toward the future in all facets of their organization, providing stewardship and purpose for generations to come. The creations of outdoor furniture from a recycled plastic material is the heartbeat of this organization. Their brand promise is made with genuine Polywood lumber. This is genuine Polywood. Their products come with a 20-year warranty, ensuring the quality and reputation of the organization so that it matches the high-level expectations they place on themselves. This is a retail business that is a leading designer and manufacturer of outdoor furniture constructed from recycled plastic lumber. Polywood conducts its sales online through a variety of independent dealers and also at many of the nation's more famous retailers like Costco, Home Depot, LL Bean, Target, Wayfair, and Amazon. In 2018, Polywood opened another manufacturing and distribution center in North Carolina due to their consistent success. Ryan Zimmerman said that the company has expanded 30 to 40% in top-line growth, and over the last 6 months, they've added upwards of 200 employees. Polywood has and always will look for continual improvement in their employees and their products. They cherish improvement for every individual in their work lives and their personal lives, praising humility, honesty, and collaboratively face challenges together rather than alone. Polywood established themselves by eliminating waste, and their company still thrives on that notion today. Their motto is, if it doesn't add value, get rid of it. And this is what allows them to compete globally and provide high-value products to their consumers. Their product design is environmentally beneficial, and they provide exceptional levels of customer satisfaction. Their brand is based off their values, and that's what matters at Polywood. Polywood has been so successful due to their foundation and consistency in the organization's values and mission. Their decisions are driven by these values, which include integrity, collaboration, innovation, and knowledge. These values show up daily in each of their employees' work and create habitual intentions due to the consistency shown by their leadership. Every employee strives to achieve their potential and continues to bring success to the organization. So it's important for them to understand the Polywood framework. Employees must keep a big picture view, develop and maintain a professional environment, be outcome-oriented, have a continuous improvement mindset, and show integrity and accountability. Next, Bobby will discuss our project methods and literature review process.
Thank you, Mitch. As Mitch mentioned, I'm going to spend some time talking about the methods and our literature review. The first thing we needed to do was set up a meeting with Ryan Zimmerman, Polywood's Director of Human Resources. Given the circumstances of the pandemic, of course, this meeting had to be virtual. Ryan was kind enough to take out a large portion of his day to meet with us. Speaking with Ryan, we were able to gain a better understanding of the background of Polywood and what issues were currently present in their organization in terms of leadership. As Mitch just mentioned, Polywood has been growing very rapidly over the last decade. With this growth has come a large number of employees that have been placed in new leadership roles. Ryan expressed the concern to us that many of these new leaders were not quite ready to take on their new roles. Since many of these new managers had no experience with leading a group, Ryan wanted us to figure out the best way to prepare these new managers for their new leadership roles. Ryan shared a document with us that laid out Polywood's 5 core competencies. Ryan suggested that we start out assessing each competency and try to find specific ways his managers could improve in each category. So for our literature review, each group member was assigned one competency. Big picture view was Haley. Developing and maintaining a professional environment was Jim. Outcome orientation was Mitch. Continuous improvement mindset was Bobby, myself. Integrity and accountability was Kristen. And we added servant leadership because that can be connected with all 5 competencies, and that was assigned to Mitch. We used Google Scholar, JSTOR, and the Helmke online database to search for books, scholarly articles, and peer-reviewed publications. We hope to gain more information that could help us understand each of our topics. In total, we ended up examining and using information from 56 different sources in our literature review. To briefly summarize each competency, Big Picture View relies on long-term and futuristic visions that drive from innovative and outcome-oriented individuals and groups. We found that to improve in this area, leaders need to recognize organizational interdependencies, patterns, and complexities through anticipating, challenging, and interpreting. They need to make decisions with long-term considerations, align through communication and support, and embrace learning and systems thinking. Developing and maintaining a professional environment involves components of communication, listening, emotional IQ, teamwork, and collaboration. We found that this variety of subtopics work cooperatively to ensure a positive and constructive working environment for the organization. Outcome orientation focuses on decision-making, problem-solving, planning, and organization. We found that the most important component is decision-making because it involves both internal and external factors that can affect the decision being made. Also, we found different types of methods and tools that can be used in the decision-making process, and also how personal and organizational values can be intertwined in the decision as well. Continuous improvement mindset is all about growth. It is believing that one's abilities, knowledge, or skill is not fixed, but instead can improve. This mindset can allow leaders to more easily accept mistakes as opportunities for learning and for growth. It also helps them understand that leading is an infinite game. That is, there is no end to it. The goal of becoming the best leader you can be is an infinite one. Integrity and accountability both provide organizational structure and a foundation which is necessary for successful companies. Integrity means being true to yourself at a moral and ethical level. Accountability means honoring the commitments made personally and to the organization. We found that behavioral integrity is an important facet of integrity in the workplace. Behavioral integrity is the perceived correlation between an individual's communication and actions. When employees perceive that their leaders' words and actions are dependable, it creates beneficial workplace results. In terms of accountability, we found that in order to be effective, accountability must be required for everyone in all levels of an organization. And for an organization to be successful, there must be a set of rules that applies to everyone. And lastly, in terms of servant leadership, leaders who can show empathy and perspective have a better chance of connecting and establishing trusting relationships with their subordinates. The formation of these relationships is a key element in being a true servant leader. Next, Haley will take you through our survey design, data analysis, and results.
To measure current mid-level manager competency levels, we decided to focus our data collection methods on a survey due to its cost effectiveness and ease of development, administration, and analysis, and its ability to reach a larger sample, providing us with more in-depth data. We constructed this survey in SurveyMonkey, and with utilizing this online survey tool, we were able to present our intentions and research with third-party status, which we hoped would result in more honest responses from the survey participants. To build a comprehensive understanding of the current leadership capabilities and competencies of the mid-level managers, we created a comprehensive 360-degree feedback survey in which we targeted the mid-level managers, and their direct reports. In total, we sent the survey to 93 Polywood employees, which included 73 direct reports, 17 mid-level managers, and 3 managers. Before the surveys were emailed from SurveyMonkey, Zimmerman notified all participants of an upcoming survey conducted by the Purdue Fort Wayne Organizational Leadership Program with the purpose to gather employee feedback and insights on training needs for the new mid-level managers. The survey was open for 2 weeks, and after 1 week, a reminder email from SurveyMonkey was sent to all participants that had not yet completed the survey. On the proposed final date of the survey, the response rates were unsatisfactory. We requested that Zimmerman sent a follow-up email to all participants in combination with another email reminder from SurveyMonkey. The survey closed after an additional 5 business days. For ease of data analysis, 3 separate surveys were developed. However, all 3 surveys asked the same questions but in different format. For instance, all statements in the mid-level manager survey began with I. For their managers, their survey statements started with the mid-level manager. And for the direct reports, their statements began with my manager. In total, there were 100 questions, all of which were developed by the research team in accordance with the literature review data. The survey questions were developed and categorized by Polywood's 5 competency themes: big picture view, developing and maintaining a professional environment, outcome-oriented, continuous improvement mindset, and integrity and accountability. With using Polywood's competency framework as a guide to our survey, it allowed for in-depth examination of the mid-level manager's competency levels in relation to Polywood's values and expectations. The response categories for all questions were based on a 5-point Likert scale from 1, strongly disagree, to 5, strongly agree. Additionally, an optional text field for comments was inserted after each competency grouping for participants to provide additional feedback, concerns, or explanations. Finally, there was 1 demographic question asking the participants' number of years in management, which provided us the opportunity to analyze the potential relationship between mid-level manager competency ratings to their years of experience. We hypothesized that newer mid-level managers would have lower self-assessment ratings compared to tenured managers due to their limited experience in a leadership position. Analyzing our results, of the 93 surveys sent, we had a total of 49 respondents complete the survey, with 32 of the 73 direct reports, 14 of the 17 mid-level managers, and 1 of the 3 managers. For the years of experience for the mid-level managers, the average was 6.57 years, with a range of experience from 1 year to 18 years. It is important to note that this average is slightly inaccurate, as 1 participant answered a few instead of a numerical number. We had a 5% comment response rate, or 16 comments out of the 282 comment opportunities. This number does exclude comments that signify no response, such as none or not applicable. Of these 16 comments, there were several that suggested a need for improvement in systems and processes, a few that praised the mid-level managers, and 2 comments that offered potential training resource topics. One direct report mentioned, the company needs to provide a list of goals for employees. We need a mission statement, a list of core values, and a true north as far the direction we are attempting to take the company, in response to the big picture views comment field. Another direct report stated, the mid-level manager spends too much time reacting to things and ignoring the people trying to be proactive before it's a bigger issue, in response to the professional communication comment field. Although these comments derive from different competencies, there is an underlying component of communication in both, suggesting a potential training focus. Survey questions were scored in accordance with the 5-point Likert scale. A statement selected as strongly agree would be given 5 points, followed by agree with 4 points, and so on as shown in the sample scale on the screen. For statements that were negatively phrased, for instance, I make decisions out of fear or without any rationale, would be scored with strongly disagree as 5 points and strongly agree as 1 point. We scored all 3 surveys first at an individual statement level, then aggregated scores into the core competency themes to find averages of the perceived mid-level manager competency level across the 3 groups. We also calculated the mean of the 5 competency levels per each group, as well as the mean for each competency across the 3 survey groups. Viewing our data table, it is recommended to read the table either by each row or by the column to assist in sense-making of the data. Overall, and across the 5 competencies, the mid-level manager's average competency score was 4.26 in a 5-point scale. There was a slight variance between the averages across the 3 survey groups and within each competency. If you look at the overall competency mean column on the far right, the manager scored the mid-level manager the highest at 4.68, and the direct report scored them the lowest at 3.91. However, the deviation between the 3 is statistically minor. Examining the averages of each of the 5 competencies, professional communication and integrity and accountability had the greatest variance in ratings at 0.5 and 0.53 respectively. Again, this rating is statistically minor, but it might suggest a potential training focus. Overall, the minor variance within and across the 5 competencies suggests high reliability of the ratings and overall satisfactory competency levels of mid-level managers in relation to Polywood's expectations. Returning to our hypothesis on the difference between new and experienced mid-level managers, we categorized participants under 6 years of management experience as new, and their average competency rating was slightly higher at 4.27 compared to experienced managers at 4.12, rejecting our hypothesis that new mid-level managers would have lower self-assessment ratings. Future research is needed to understand why this might be the case. It is also important to note that the participant that answered a few for years in management experience was included in the new mid-level manager average. Because of their non-numerical answer, it prevented further analysis at lower management experience. For instance, it would have been interesting to analyze the difference in competency levels between managers with less than 3 years of experience compared to more experienced managers. However, we did not want to assume the definition of a few, keeping our analysis modest. Looking at our results conclusively, although the survey analysis did not offer any profound findings in terms of training needs, overall improvements can be made across Polywood's 5 core competencies to get them from satisfactory levels to exemplary, as supported by the survey comments, competency averages, and data from the 2019 Employee Comments Report. Now, Jim will discuss our training resource focus and direction.
Thank you, Haley. And Ryan, thank you and Polywood for the opportunity to partner with you in the development of a training solution. As Haley mentioned, I'm going to walk you through the steps we've taken during the post-analysis resource search. Following research and analysis, we focused our efforts on finding potential training resources that fit the plug-and-play self-learning format that you had requested. We searched the Purdue Fort Wayne organizational leadership course content, current training programs, manuals available on the internet, articles relevant to the concept such as Harvard Business Review, along with articles used in the literature reviews. We also searched YouTube. Our searches for existing training resources that met your specific needs were mostly inconclusive. The material found were not comprehensive enough. It just didn't meet the criteria standard that we had agreed to. It was also found to be problematic due to substandard quality of free access material, and conversely, professional services were very costly. Also, regardless of cost, the services we found did not align all that well. They just didn't meet your specific needs and training resource requirements. However, for your review, we have provided you with a link to one of those professional online training services. You'll find that in our documentation. After our inconclusive search, our team met to determine our next steps. And after thorough consideration, we decided to make our own training videos. The solution guaranteed control of content and time. It also provided an opportunity for us to develop participant-written training material that matched the video content, again, in an effort to keep everything in alignment with Polywood's needs. We were very fortunate to partner with one of our on-site campus resources, Studio M. As a media lab, they assist students with presentations. John Nicklin, manager of Studio M, is credited for the filming and editing of these videos. Prior to recording, our team developed extensive script content as a guide for the video trainings. The script content was then modified to create an easy-to-understand flow of dialogue. We also inserted supplemental examples to support concepts. For the purpose of familiarity and cohesiveness, I volunteered to be the facilitator in all 3 videos. I also added some of my personal leadership stories and anecdotes to strengthen the material. The training series is called Leadership Principles, and it incorporates 3 training videos: communication and integrity, building accountability, and managing conflict. Communication and integrity has both pre and post video participant reflection exercises. The video is 15 minutes long, and with reflection material, we've estimated total participant time at approximately 25 minutes. Building accountability also has both pre and post video reflection exercises, and that video is 25 minutes long, and with reflection material, we've estimated total participant time at approximately 35 minutes. Managing conflict has both pre and post video reflection exercises, and additionally, it has conflict-related supplemental reading material and participant assessment exercises. The video is 15 minutes long, and with reflection material, additional reading, and assessments, we've estimated total participant time approximately 35 minutes. The recommendations section suggests plans to enact leadership principles, their video series. Please refer to Appendix C for references used in the training material. It's categorized by training session topic. Next, you'll hear from Kristen Bowen. She'll review the recommendation section with you.
The Leadership Principles 3-part training series is designed to be easily accessible and fit into employee schedules. It is recommended that the videos are viewed in sequential order: communication and integrity, followed by building accountability, and ending with managing conflict. The pre-reflection questions should be completed before each training video, and the post-reflection questions should be completed after each training video. The video and the reflection questions should be completed without interruption, but it is not recommended to take all 3 training sessions at the same time to ensure adequate time for post-training reflection. However, conceptual components are carried throughout the 3 training sessions, making learning most impactful when there's limited time between sessions. Therefore, it is recommended for the 3 sessions to be completed within a 3-week time span. To reinforce the established training, we have 2 core recommendations to optimize the investment in the mid-level manager training. First, detailed communication of the training to the mid-level managers, and second, post-training support provided by Polywood's Human Resources Department and the managers of the training participants. Our first core recommendation centers on the process of effectively communicating the implementation of the mid-level manager training resources, and this recommendation is supported by the following 5 processes. First, the notification of the training material should be clearly outlined with steps on how to access the material, who to contact if there are any questions, and how the training should be employed. Second, communication from human resources should provide an explanation regarding the purpose and the focus of the training. Third, encourage participation in the training material at an individual and organizational level. Fourth, participants should be encouraged to complete both the pre- and post-reflection questions as it measures participant learning and encourages reflection. Fifth, communication of the training material needs to be accompanied with systematic support for continuous learning and development. The second core recommendation is to provide support for the new mid-level managers that are participating in the training. Organizational support is a key component in participants' transfer of knowledge and skills from training to practical application in the workplace. We recommend 3 methods to support the learning transfer: action plans, supervisory consultations, and peer meetings. An action plan reinforces self-reflection. It is best practice to share the plan with the employee supervisor or in peer meetings to support the development of an accountable culture and to assist in the creation of an actionable plan to strengthen the relevant skill set. Supervisory consultations encourage skill utilization through one-on-one meetings with the supervisor. This encourages collaboration and the development of actionable steps and goals to support continuous learning and improvement in the targeted competencies. Peer meetings are routine post-training meetings that include the training participants. The objective of the meeting is to facilitate discussion on how participants have implemented the material, the effect of the implementation, and the potential or experienced barriers to implementation. The meetings support knowledge transfer by creating a deeper understanding of the subject matter and propel implementation through discussion, examples provided by attendees, and reassurance. Polywood can implement these meetings using a format like lunch and learn, group mentoring, or peer mentoring. Beyond our core recommendations, we identified additional recommendations that Polywood should consider implementing to support the mid-level manager training. Alignment of employee recognition with the 5 core competencies. Improve the effectiveness of organizational communication by focusing on symmetry and transparency. Add servant leadership to Polywood's core competency framework, along with a clear definition, expected behaviors, and leader recognition for engagement in servant leadership behaviors. Utilization of supervisor or human resources facilitated learning to ensure a shared understanding and problem solving congruent with Polywood's policies and procedures. Development of customizable training programs to address individual needs and development. And finally, routine training that is focused on managerial coaching. Thank you for your time and the opportunity to work with you to develop training resources for the new mid-level managers. If you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to us. Our contact information is listed on this slide.